How do neurotransmitters in the brain act in order to produce the false hallucinations and voices in one's head that schizophrenia creates?
And what is the anatomical and physiological state of the mind of those experiencing this chronic condition?
Hello, my name is Lynnette Valencia.
And I am Evelyn Nuñez.
And we are current members of the Summer Institute on Medical Ignorance. And we are here to tell you about the misconceptions, different hypotheses, potential treatment, and how the chronic condition functions anatomically and physiologically in one's brain, with the research that we came across.
First off, schizophrenia is a long-term mental disorder involving a breakdown in the relationship between thought, emotion, and behavior, resulting in hallucinations, withdrawal from reality, inappropriate actions and feelings, and turning personal relationships into delusions.
Its symptoms are called psychotic symptoms, which vary from each patient depending whether their symptoms are positive, negative, affective, or cognitive. All symptoms fall under a different spectrum and depend on the severity of the individual's condition.
So fuzzy. She's running.
How progressive is it?
Why would she turn? It's so fuzzy. She's running.
How progressive is it?
To start off, schizophrenia has a noticeable appearance anatomically compared to that of a healthy brain. Researchers and physicians are able to observe these abnormalities through MRIs, brain scans, and through microscopic tissue. One of the main appearances are on the lateral ventricles of the brain. They seem to be enlarged, and it is uncertain into why that may be, possibly because of inflammation, leading to the misfunctioning of the rest of the brain, or because of an autoimmune response. Many answers are yet to be discovered.
Not only that, but the National Institute of Mental Health presented through observations of a 25% loss of gray matter, which is an important indication because it involves auditory, speech, memory, emotional, and sensory perception function. Through a study conducted by UCLA, we can see how gray tissue has a dramatic effect to one that has schizophrenia. The same patients were used during a time span, and as you can see, throughout the time, more pink is represented, meaning the tissue lost over time.
Oh, sorry, didn't see you there. Also, the hippocampus shows a major prevalence and indication in the difference of the brain's anatomy and function for a person who may have schizophrenia. This is the section of the brain that correlates to memory and learning, where most of hyperactivity comes from. There is research that possible treatment for the brain would be decreasing activity in the hippocampus, and eventually leading to treatment strategies. There is no current cure for schizophrenia. However, there is antipsychotic treatment and therapy. Antipsychotic therapy focuses on decreasing and regulating dopamine being a hypothesis to why schizophrenia is caused. Studies indicate that antipsychotic treatment is successful in relieving symptoms with high doses. As mentioned before, with high doses come major side effects, such as brain tissue loss.
Why is dopamine important to understand? There is a high misconception that dopamine is the leading cause of schizophrenia and high hyperactivity in the brain, resulting in highly physical and emotional actions. Also, schizophrenia is an environmental stimulator and can be genetic. However, there is no exact reason as to why this may be. It can come from the way your autoimmune response works or from something like depression. There are many factors, and there is yet an answer as to what exactly it derives from.
Dopamine is a neurotransmitter which deals with controlling emotional activity and focuses on the frontal cortex, which leads to misleading thoughts and non-cognitive rationalizing. Basal ganglia, where hallucinations and paranoia come from because of its main function of integrating sensory information, emotion, and the limbic system where delusions occur.
The most recent research shows that the glutamate synapses in the brain may actually be a hypothetical reason to why schizophrenia actually happens. The hypothesis states that schizophrenia may be caused because of abnormal development of glutamate synapses in the GABA interneurons that has pervalbumin, a chemical binding protein, which has MDA receptors at the end of the dendrites. A part of the hypothesis, too, is that MDA receptors are developed abnormally in the sense of also explaining why it may happen genetically. The MDA receptor is blocked by the MDA antagonist, leading to the symptoms that are recognized. Therefore, One that has schizophrenia has a hypothetical problem in their brain, as MDA receptors do not release correct electrical information from the glutamate synapse into the GABA interneuron, and from its dendrites to the MDA receptors. Why is this important? Glutamate synapses and this activity happens all over the brain, as well, not just in particular to the frontal cortex, limbic system, and basal ganglia, like dopamine. Insufficient glutamate signaling can lead to the same symptoms as those that are produced by dopamine. Glutamate stimulatory signals amplifies dopamine, and glutamate increases inhibition, just as if too much dopamine were to be present.
With all being said, the last questions we have are why does medication for schizophrenia help the patients when studies indicate that higher doses of medication lead to a greater loss of brain tissue? And how can we improve mental therapy to potentially better the turnout of increased mental stability and health?
We still remain curious as to what schizophrenia will lead to in the future, what research will be conducted, and what new information will be useful to apply to treat the chronic condition. Thank you for watching our video. We hope to have sparked some questions in your brain.